Hello everyone. Hope you are doing good in these times of staying at home and enjoying all the recipes prepared by your mom. Let's start with today's lecture. Today we are talking about tetanus. Okay. So tetanus is a very deadly disease and it is easily preventable by vaccine. Okay. And what we are concerned about tetanus is the neonatal tetanus. These are the neonates, the newborn babies who are less than 28 days of age, or early neonates who are less than 7 days of their age. That means birth to 7 days. They are getting neonatal tetanus due to unsafe delivery. Okay, the deliveries which occur at the homes, which occur roadside, which occur during the traveling, these neonates, they are at risk of developing neonatal tetanus. Okay, that is the major problem with tetanus. So let's start with the today's topic. So it is an acute disease induced by exotoxin of Clostridium tetani and clinically characterized by muscular rigidity which persists throughout the illness, punctuated by painful paroxysmal spasms of voluntary muscles. Okay, so this is a disease of muscles and that is caused due to the toxin. Okay, the Clostridium tetani, these bacilli, they release a toxin known as tetanotoxin and which will cause the muscle paralysis and muscle spasm. The word tetanos is a Greek word meaning to stretch. Okay, so the spasm is like a person is stretching. Okay, so that much is the muscles they get spasm. Word opisto is a Greek word meaning behind, and this opisto tonus posture, it is like a arch back posture. Okay, so we'll get back to it later. First described by Hippocrates and Ariatus. Etiology was discovered in 1884 by Carle and Ratonnet, and the disease is transmitted to the rabbits. By transmitting the disease to rabbits, they came to know how the etiology of tetanus works. Okay, in 1984, Nicolaire suggested that tetanus is due to a thickening like poison of bacillus. Okay, 1886, Rosenbach demonstrated the bacillus in a tetanus case, and 1889, Kitasato isolated impure culture and reproduced the disease in animals. Passive immunity used for treatment and prophylaxis, it was used during World War One, and tetanus toxoid was first widely used during World War Two. Okay, so this World War One and World War Two, they gave a lot of information, lot of treatment modalities, and lot of understanding of many infectious diseases. Okay, may it be cholera, plague, or even tetanus. Problem statement: world occurrence is worldwide but common in regions with hot, damp climates with soil rich in organic matter. It is comparatively rare in developed countries, but it is more common in developing countries. And till today, we are battling this disease, okay, which can be prevented by tetanus vaccine. Neonatal tetanus is also very dangerous because it is the second most common disease after measles among the six diseases described by EPI, Expanded Program for Immunization. Case fatality is high. 80 to 90% of the cases who get the tetanus disease, they die. Okay, and majority of the neonates, they die. So that means neonatal tetanus, once the babies get neonatal tetanus, there is no saving them back. Okay, so the only option which we have is vaccine, right? Case fatality is 80 to 90%. It occurs in areas of poor healthcare and hence remains highly underreported. According to the survey done on March 28, 2005, half a million children die per year in 10 countries, including India. 40,000 people who were injured in Asia and Africa during tsunami, they died of tetanus. Okay, so these these people in 2005 who were injured during tsunami, so immediately they had a lot of exposure to tetanus through soil or through injuries, and they got uh, the tetanus and they died. Almost 40,000 people, they died of tetanus. Okay, yes. So how the decline in cases has occurred? In 1990, there were around 5 lakh cases and 4 lakh deaths. So that is almost 80% death rate. In 2004, there were around 4 lakh 20,000 cases and 2 lakh 57,000 deaths. And in 2018 also, we are having 3 lakh 6,000 cases and around 2 lakh 80,000 deaths throughout the world. So the death rates and the cases is decreasing due to the immunization coverage. 5 countries: Bhutan, DPR, Korea, Maldives, Sri Lanka, and Thailand declare elimination of neonatal tetanus. In UK, there has been no case of neonatal tetanus since last 4 decades, while India still now we are witnessing around 1.74 cases per thousand neonatal tetanus cases. World, the developed world, the cases are rare, but in India and in developing countries, the neonatal tetanus is still endemic. It is mainly because of poor hand washing practices, improper delivery practices, and traditional birth customs, disinterest in immunization, livestock raising regions, and medically underserved areas. Okay, seasonal incidents, more than 50% cases in India, they occur in July, August, and September. So these are the areas where the tetanus, the red, green states are having more number of tetanus, blue, red, green. So epidemiology, agent, host, and environment factors. Agent is a Clostridium tetani, is an anaerobic gram-positive spore-forming bacteria. 10 serotypes are present, all produce same exotoxin. Antitoxin against one protects against all. Spores are found in soil, dust, and animal feces. They may persist for months to years. Okay, so the any contact with soil, dust, animal feces, it can give rise to tetanus. Okay, so tetanus spores are very much resistant. They can be destroyed under pressure at 120 degrees centigrade for 20 minutes or by gamma rays. Okay. Examples: Clostridium tetani was isolated from the abdominal scar wound of a woman who was operated 10 years previously and had suffered from tetanus. So even after 10 years, the bacilli they were active in that woman. 19 soldiers were reported to have tetanus spores in their wounds, but they were never infected. Okay, Clostridium tetani, the drumstick appearance of the bacilli. You will be taught more about this in microbiology. Reservoir of infection, soil and dust. 50% samples of soil will be positive for the bacillus. So any soil you pick up from anywhere throughout the India, throughout any developing nations, 50% of the samples they will be positive for Clostridium tetani. Okay, so this is like a bacterial flora of the soil, the Clostridium tetani. The intestine and feces of cattle, horses, goats, and sheep they will have the Clostridium tetani bacilli. Intestine of man, especially who are in close contact with horses like hostlers and grooms, they will also show tetanus bacilli. Operation theaters and walls of our houses are also not exempt because there is a lot of air coming through our houses and there is dust. Through the dust, the bacilli they come into the air, and even the walls of our house, even the floors, they will be having Clostridium tetani bacilli. Exotoxin. What is exotoxin? There are two types of toxins released by the tetanus bacilli. Tetanospasmin, which causes tetanus, and tetanolysin. It is the second most toxic material after botulinum toxin. Even 0.000001 ml of that toxin is enough to kill a rat. 0.1 milligram is enough to kill a 70-kilogram man. It acts by blocking inhibition of spinal reflexes on motor end plates in skeletal system, in spinal cord, in brain, and in sympathetic system. Period of communicability, we cannot describe the exact period of communicability because it is not contagious. Okay. Yes. So that means if a person gets tetanus, the other people who are working, who are treating that person or the family members, they are not contagious by that patient who has got tetanus. Okay, because though it is a communicable disease, The disease itself is not contagious. That means one tetanus case, it cannot spread the tetanus to other case, because that that spread is through mainly soil and dust, contamination of wounds, or by the contamination of fecal matter or other animal related matter, which has got tetanus bacilli. Now, host factors, age, no age is immune, but more common in age groups of 5 to 40 years because of increased exposure to injury. In neonates, it is called as neonatal tetanus. Sex, in adults, incidence is more in males, not because of increased exposure to injury, but also males are more sensitive to the toxin than females. Risk of tetanus is more in females because of peripheral tetanus. In neonates, incidence is more in males because of increased bringing of male infants to hospitals. Occupation, agricultural workers, gardeners, and soldiers are more prone because of increased proximity to soil and injuries, respectively. Rural and urban differences. Rural people will be more exposed to the tetanus because of more exposure to soil and animals. Uh, Earthen floors and livestock raising in rural areas also increases the risk of people who are living in villages to get infected with tetanus. Immunity, no age is immune. Immunity is provided by 2 injections of tetanus toxoid, highly effective and last for years. Immunity lasting for few weeks can be obtained by the infant from the mother, provided the mother is immunized during the pregnancy. Herd immunity is not useful in the tetanus because there is no person to person spread. Environmental and social factors, our health is in our hands. So depends upon man's physical surroundings. Soil, especially with low redox potential, chemicals like ionizing calcium salts and lime fertilizers are the cause of bacillus occurring more in cultivated soil. Okay. So other unhygienic practices, other increased exposure to the animals, like animal husbandry, following unhygienic practices and delivery practices will increase the uh, exposure to the tetanus. Ignorance of infection and lack of proper primary health care are the major factors. Modes of transmission, by contamination of wounds with tetanus spores, whether it is a tribal pinprick or leg amputation wounds, any type of skin exposure, any type of wound exposure can lead to tetanus. Pinprick, a small needle pinprick or a small thrown prick can lead to tetanus. Okay, pinprick, skin abrasions, puncture wounds, burns, human and animal bites and stings all can lead to tetanus. Okay, yes, tetanus injuries and conditions. So puncture wounds 37%, lacerations 24%, abrasions 6%, IDU 5%, and chronic wounds 11%, and other conditions 17%. So this is the percentage distribution of different wounds and the cause of tetanus to those wounds. Okay. Yes. So needles, large wounds, burn wounds, uh, normal cuts and abrasions, or even needle pricks. Unsterile surgery, intrauterine deaths, bowel surgery, dental extractions, injections, unsterile division of umbilical cord, otitis media, compound fractures, chronic skin ulcers, eye infections, gangrenous limbs, any of these and other n number of things which will cause exposure to the broken skin to the tetanus bacilli can lead to tetanus. Post-operative route is one of the most prevalent route. Case was reported when 5 women died of tetanus after they consulted the same physician to secure abortion, had packed the cervix with wadding. Another case was reported when tetanus followed a rubber band ligation. Circumcision and ear piercing also can cause tetanus. Okay, so those females who get their ears and nose pricked by outsiders, by gold shops or in other unhygienic practices, they can get tetanus. Okay, incubation period 6 to 10 days normally, could be even 1 day, could be long, months to years because of dormant spores. Okay, so there is no any specific incubation period. A person can get tetanus even if few years back he has got an injury. Okay, or he has got an abrasion, or he has got a normal needle prick. Okay, so none of us can remember a needle prick which we have got few years back. Okay, so the only thing, only treatment, only prevention which we have is vaccine. Okay, keep ourselves vaccinated, keep our patients vaccinated, then only we can prevent tetanus. Usually males are more prone than females, but immediately after Second World War, it was observed that females are more affected. Why? Because all the army personnel, they were being vaccinated by tetanus vaccine, and females, they were at homes and they were involved in agricultural and outside work. That's why they were more exposed to tetanus bacilli and they were not vaccinated. That's why females immediately during the Second World War, after the Second World War, they were seen having more cases of tetanus as compared to male. Okay, so if you can just go through the steps. First is entry wound. Clostridium tetani, it enters the body through the skin. It produces toxin in near the wound. Okay, then second step is there is a spread of toxin through the vascular system, lymphatic system. Fourth Third step is disease, spreading of disease through the toxin. Can be rigid paralysis, can be locked jaw, cranial and peripheral motor nerves, can be cardiac failure, respiratory failure due to stoppage of respiration, due to paralysis of respiratory muscles, due to the paralysis of cardiac muscles, and there is no exit of toxin. Okay, the toxin stays in the system and it causes the through the entry wound, the breeding of bacilli, the toxin is being produced and it spreads through the throughout the body and causes deaths in almost 80 to 90% of the cases. Clinical manifestations, incubation periods, usually it is 3 to 21 days, can be as high as years. Neonatal tetanus symptoms usually appear from 4 to 14 days after birth, averaging about 7 days. Therefore, neonatal tetanus is called AIDS-day disease. With a highly toxigenic strain and a favorable tissue environment, a large amount of toxin may be produced and absorbed rapidly so that the incubation period is short and attack is severe, vice versa. Types of tetanus can be traumatic, 40 to 50%, peripheral, 5 to 20%, neonatal tetanus, 10 to 15%, otogenic, 10 to 15%, and idiopathic, almost 10%. High risk groups are young people below 20 years of age, elderly above 60 years of age, intravenous drug users, immigrants, and unregistered antenatal mothers. Local tetanus can be mildest form, causes prodromal illness. Trismus is it may lead to either difficulty on chewing or make the patient unable to open his mouth to its full extent. With prophylactic antitoxin, the illness does not progress beyond this stage. Okay, trismus is like a long jaw, so the jaw muscles and the jaw can get locked, and the patients they cannot open their jaw. Rhizus sardonicus, the jaws remain tightly closed. Muscles of the mouth are tugged upwards, outwards, and upwards over the teeth. Eyebrows are hitched up from the eye sockets, and the forehead is thrown into the deep forward. Okay, so this is a rhizus sardonicus patient. As you can see, there is a lot of effort. The person is showing a tight closure of the eyebrows and the eyes, and the muscles around mouth, they are in extended position so that the teeth and gums they can be seen. The generalized tetanus, here the whole body is involved. In severe cases, respiratory muscles are involved. Generalized tetanus, there is a opisthotonous posture. Okay, so we'll come to what is opisthotonous posture. General symptoms: little headache, abdominal pain or backache, difficulty in passing urine, requiring catheterization, and constipation, requiring enema treatment. Opisthotonous posture. This is the opisthotonous posture. So it is like a hunchback, arch like posture. So all the muscles of back and legs they are in deep spasm. Neonatal tetanus infection results from cord contamination. Okay, so after delivery, if we don't follow the clean practices, clean delivery practices or institutional deliveries, then the neonatal tetanus it gets from the cord, umbilical cord. The baby is normal at birth, but after few days becomes irritable, faces difficulty in sucking, and develops rigidity with spasm. Prognosis is worse if onset of symptoms occur within first week of life. An interval between lockjaw and onset of symptoms is less than 48 hours. High fever and tachycardia, spasm of larynx, and subsequently the neonatal death can be the subsequent. This is the rhizus sardonicus in a child. Complications can be laryngospasm, fractures of the spine, hypertension, hospital acquired pneumonia, pulmonary embolism, aspiration pneumonia, hyperpyrexia, and paralytic ileus. Lab diagnosis entirely clinical. Clostridium tetani recovered from the wound only in 30% of the cases. Demonstration of toxin production in mice is diagnostic. Uh, ECG may show continuous discharge of motor units, electromyogram, sorry, not ECG, electromyogram, motor units, and shortening of or absence of silent intervals. CSF examination is mostly normal, and muscle enzyme levels may be raised. Differential diagnosis of tetanus can be purulent meningitis, but there is no sustained pattern of convulsions. Status epilepticus, marked mental changes are seen. Tetany spasms affect mainly distal parts of limbs, not the trunk. Strychnine poisoning, there is complete relaxation in between spasms, which is not seen in the case of tetanus. And rabies spasms tend to be localized. Differential diagnosis for patients manifesting only with trismus, that is lockjaw, can be quinsy, mandibular injury or fracture, TM joint or temporomandibular joint syndrome, inflammatory conditions of gums and buccal mucosa, dental problems, cervical adenitis, or dystonic drug reactions. Age prognosis is bad in very young, especially neonates, and in the very old. So both the extremes of the age, very young neonates and very old age patients, they have bad prognosis. It is relatively good in young adults. Incubation period, lesser the incubation period, the worse will be the prognosis, and vice versa. Case fatality rate is about 40%. In neonates, it is as high as 80%. Treatment main aim is to attack Clostridium tetani in the wound so that it cannot produce more toxin, neutralize the toxin before it can reach the nerve cells, and to render the nerve cells less reactive to toxin and muscles less reactive to impulses coming from the nerve cells. So the treatment is divided into general and specific, where general treatment will include a stimuli of any kind may precipitate a convulsion in the patient with tetanus noise, and movements must be kept minimum. That's why the tetanus patients and the rabies patients, they are kept in a quiet, dark room with very minimal entry to other physicians or nurses. Okay. And specific treatment given is wound surgery, antitoxin, and antibiotics, sedatives, tracheostomy, and the curare. Curare for muscle relaxation and nerve relaxation. Wound surgery, there is a foul contaminated wound. It is logical to explore this surgically in an endeavor to abolish the anaerobic conditions and so prevent the further production of the toxin. So some of the treatment, it is to prevent more toxin reaching the nerve cells by surgery, antibiotics, and by antitoxin, and to control the symptoms caused by toxin already inside the nerve cell. Prevention is done by active immunization, best prevented by active immunization with tetanus toxoid. Toxoid is the one which is inactive form of toxin with no toxigenicity but retained antigenicity. Stimulates the production of productive antitoxin. There are two types of toxins, combined vaccines, which is in the form of DPT and pentavalent. Monovalent vaccine, we have plain or formal toxoid and absorbed toxoid or PTAP or ATP. Combined vaccines, infants are immunized against tetanus in combination with diphtheria pertussis at DPT as DPT vaccine, where D is diphtheria toxoid, P is killed Bacillus pertussis, and T is tetanus toxoid. And pentavalent, we have two more additions, that is Haemophilus influenza B and hepatitis. According to the National Immunization Schedule, the primary course of immunization consists of 3 doses of pentavalent. Okay, this is not DPT. Now we are giving them primary immunization, 3 doses of penta. So at 6 weeks, we are giving them pentavalent vaccine. At 10 weeks, pentavalent vaccine. At 14 weeks, pentavalent vaccine. This pentavalent vaccine is given in the dose of 0.5 ml intramuscular in the left thigh. Okay. So, booster dose at 18 months or 1.5 years of age is given by DPT vaccine, followed by second booster at 5 years of age. Uh, Also, we are giving DPT vaccine, and third booster is given at 10 years of age, which is tetanus toxoid. And subsequent, every 5 years, we should give tetanus toxoid booster. Okay, monovalent vaccine, purified tetanus toxoid, has a longer lasting immune response than plain toxoid. Primary course of immunization consists of 3 doses at 6, 10, 14 mix, which is given by pentavalent vaccine. It must not be allowed to freeze at any time, stored between 4 to 10 degrees Celsius. Passive immunization is by human tetanus hyperimmunoglobulin or anti-tetanus serum. The tetanus immunoglobulin dose for all ages is 250 to 500 international units, gives a longer passive protection up to 30 days or more compared with 7 to 10 days for horse anti-tetanus serum. Anti-tetanus serum, if human antitoxin not available, equine or the horse prepared antitoxin should be used. Standard dose is 1,500 international units injected subcutaneous. It gives protection about 7 to 10. Disadvantages of ATS: it causes sensitivity reaction in many people. Person receiving ATS for the first time may tolerate it well, but there is possibility that subsequent injections of hot serum may lead to allergic reaction. Incidence of systemic reactions 5 to 10%. ATS stimulates formation of antibodies to it, and hence a person receiving ATS for the second time may rapidly eliminate the ATS, rendering it ineffective. Active and passive immunization: purpose of antitoxin, immediate temporary protection, and toxoid for long-lasting protection. So, the suspected patients, we can give both active and passive immunization. So, prevention of neonatal tetanus. Neonates achieve natural passive immunity from the mother against tetanus, but this is only lasts for few weeks. Administration of toxoid to pregnant women, which is given by tetanus doses, TT vaccine, uh, causes formation of antitoxin, and antitoxin enters the fetal circulation through placenta. The Government of India launched expanded program for immunization in 1978. Objective was to reduce mortality and morbidity resulting from vaccine preventable diseases, and most importantly, measles and tetanus. Vital components: immunization of pregnant women against tetanus, 100% of coverage of pregnant women with 2 doses of tetanus toxoid, and immunization of children in their first year of life against 6 EPI diseases, 85% coverage of infants with 3 doses of now pentavalent, previously it was PPT, uh, pentavalent OPV, and one dose of BCG, and measles by 1990. Okay, so pregnant ladies and neonatal tetanus. Toxoid will protect both mother and child. Tetanus toxoid. Unimmunized pregnant women, 2 doses of tetanus toxoid. If previously immunized pregnant women, only one booster dose. If the previous immunization or previous pregnancy was within 3 years of last 3 years. Okay. As per the national immunization schedule, these doses will be given between 16 to 36 weeks of pregnancy with an interval of 28 days minimum or 1 to 2 months between the 2 doses. No pregnant woman should be denied even one dose of TT if she is late in the pregnancy. Okay. So as soon as the pregnant lady is registered, she should receive a dose of tetanus toxoid. Training of traditional birth attendants alone can reduce death due to neonatal tetanus by 90%. Birth attendants are provided with home delivery kits, and they should be educated about 5 cleans of this delivery. Okay. So remember these 5 cleans of delivery. What are these? Clean hands, clean delivery surface, and clean cord care, which includes clean blade for cutting, clean cord tie, and to avoid the application on the cord stump. Okay. So clean delivery surface, clean hands, clean passage. So delivery passage, that is the reproductive organs, reproductive area of the female also should be clean. Then clean cord cut, clean blade or clean scissors for cutting the cord stump, and preventing the contamination of umbilical cord of baby. Infants born to mothers who are not immunized with tetanus toxoid are at risk of tetanus. They are protected by injection of antitoxin 750 international units if it is administered within 6 hours after the birth. Prevention of tetanus after injury. All wounds must be thoroughly cleaned soon after injury. And removal of foreign bodies and soil will abolish anaerobic conditions. In order to achieve early elimination of neonatal tetanus, ICMR has achieved that efforts should be made to cover all women in reproductive age group with 3 doses of tetanus toxoid vaccine through a campaign approach. And immunization against tetanus is achieved through universal immunization program, which became a part of CSSM program in 1992 and RCH program in 1997. Okay, so remember, only the option which we have to reduce the number of cases of tetanus and reduce the mortality related to tetanus is the tetanus vaccine. Okay, and that's it regarding today's topic. Take care and have a nice time.